It's a cool gift.
You said it's a 3-round burst weapon?
Yeah, there's like you like charge it up and then you can like unleash them all at once. You just fire them like one by one kind of deal. I mean, they don't have any drop either. We're really big about the no drop weapons and stuff. So of course,
Yeah. Is that working out really well? Because when I tested it, it seemed like it didn't do a lot of damage.
It's really interesting. Like you can either go for the high alpha damage with the burst, or you can be a little bit more sustained by shooting like one by one. And it does give you quite a lot of playability around it. Honestly, it has been like the best thing VS has gotten in quite a while.
Oh man, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I don't feel gypped from that. I know I've been running around the JGX. I love that thing.
It's great, isn't it? Like I think all the tank weapons have been real good. Like I still think they're a bit overtuned, just a little bit, all of them, but they're all great.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings if they just nudged that bolt drop by a lot, made it a true arty.
Yeah.
Make it harder for me to hit you, but
though.
if I learn how to be on line of sight, then I'm like artillery.
Yeah. Don't make it like the NC one though. That thing has so much drop, it's crazy.
No, I'm in C. I want them to make more drop out of it.
Oh, okay.
Double the drop.
Okay.
Double the drop.
So you just shoot it and immediately just falls to the ground. Okay.
Pretty much,
like
yeah. Make
Get
it
the
real
true
artillery.
experience.
Because that to me is a new skill set that we have to develop as tankers. Because right now it's kind of like a worse version of the heat, but it hits harder.
Mm.
Yeah, they should kind of change the skin and make it like a catapult or something like that.
Yes. No, a trebuchet, Orbi, a trebuchet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. So what's going on, everybody? This is StratSide 17. Today we have 3 special guests. Normally we have 1, but today's a special episode talking to Sokaar's Legion and the road to 7,000. 7,000 is a nod to the current ExtraLife charity that's going on, raising money for kids, the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And Sokaar's Legion is knee deep in that, has been for the umpteenth time, but we'll get into that here in a little bit, in the particulars. So we're going to talk about the agenda. We'll go over the disclaimer as per usual, then the scope of the talk, go through some introductions of who we have here, who we're talking with, and then get into the discussion, which will range from talking about ExtraLife, then get more into things that are all of us are passionate about as well. Elite fits, Zerg fits, large, mid, small fits, and then wherever else the conversation takes us. Wrap it up, and then we'll close out for today. So, disclaimer. Lanzer, I speak for myself, as per usual, but today we have 3 special guests, Cronk, Orbi, and Horace, and they speak for themselves, but also, who speaks for SKL?
I think it's safe to say we all speak for SKL at this point.
Okay.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So they speak for SKL, they speak for themselves. And moving on to the scope of the talk, what is today's talk about? About 2 things mainly. 1, the wonderful work of charity that SKL is involved in right now. Not just SKL, but also other members of the community. Today we're highlighting SKL. And then also the conversation will move over into more PlanetSide centric things, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. So introductions. I'm Lanzer, been involved in the community for a while. I'm a main battle tank player, and for our purposes today, I'm NC Connery. Today, though, we have our guest is Sokaar's Legion, SKL Emerald VS. They started in 2014, and right now they have 4,000 members with a total of 34,000 hours played as an outfit. They have an amazing 36% activity rating per outfit tracker, running in about 450,000 total kills, and their leader right now is Quetzar. Today, we have Cronk, Orbi, and Horace. So please go ahead and introduce yourselves. Personally, where are you from, and when you started playing?
Wants to go first?
Yeah, let's do it left to right. You first, Cronk,
Sure.
then yeah.
Me first? Okay.
I
Well,
think it's
go
a good
for it.
bet. Yeah.
okay, fine. I mean, my name's Cronk. I'm one of the moderators here in SKL. Kind of a newer member here. I've only been around in the past year or so, but as for me myself, I'm from the United States. I've been playing PlanetSide since about 2017. Started back on the PS4, then moved over to PC a little bit later, and then
You're one of those unicorns, huh?
yeah,
Oh,
little
we got to
Cronk,
get
some
into
might
that
say.
later. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's
Keep going.
great. Yeah, and then moved back over to PC, and I was just like, SKL looks kind of cool. There's a lot of people in here. I'll join this. And about 10 months later, here we are.
Right on.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm Horace. I'm currently our second outfit leader for SKL, next to Kaztar. I've been playing PlanetSide for almost 2 years now. Started on Emerald, joined Sokaar's Legion back then off the recommendation of a friend, and I've been here ever since. Had a lot of really awesome experiences here, so really glad I found them.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I've heard, y'all are an awesome bunch. I don't even play Emerald, and I've heard of you.
Oh, that's great. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right. So I guess I'm like a bit of the boomer in the group. I've been playing PlanetSide since the beta. I actually created my Twitter account to ask for a beta key, like back when I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing for a while. I've played in a bunch of servers. I started out in the European server. I'm not actually a native English speaker, and I kind of learned how to, speak in English through PlanetSide. And came to the Emerald server, I don't know, like maybe 2016, 2017. And I've been around outfits. I've played in mid-fits. I was in Fish with Feet for a long time. But my thing has always been public platoon leading, so I've always been like drawn into the larger outfits out there. And I've been in SKL for I don't know how many years at this point, maybe 4, maybe a bit more. But yeah, I've been playing for a while, and I'm also like one of the officers in SKL. Right now, we're doing a bit of a revamp of our ranks, so we don't have like any actual titles that are permanent just yet. We're doing some changes right now, but yeah, have been an officer in SKL for probably about 3 years at this point.
Right on. And so, Horace, you said that you're one of the co-outfit leads with Katsar?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. How many outfit leads are there?
So currently we have 3, technically, 2 of which are active. We unfortunately haven't seen Sokaar in a while, but he is our 3rd outfit lead.
The man himself, MIA.
Absolutely. Yep.
The legend. Yeah.
The legend. Well, you know what they say about legends? They appear when you need them the most.
Absolutely.
And right now, y'all seem to be very, very healthy. Like I said, 36% activity rating. I have some questions around that. Not in terms of calling it a question, but how you all manage to keep yourself so motivated. That's what I know about SKL, is that y'all are super motivated and have a high activity rating. That's the reputation that I know you of. So some stats that I saw is your best heavy assault is Calamity. Your best...
Yeah, that was surprising to see, actually.
Yeah? Why is that surprising?
Yeah, because Calamity is like our competitive lead, And I knew he was a great like infantry player, but I didn't know he was our best one,
Well, according to Outfit Tracker, he's got some sort of good mixture of headshot ratios, IVI, or something.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that's calculated.
That's great to hear. Yeah, shout out to Calamity.
Your best NG is Victorious Voss.
Also a bit surprising, I'd say.
Your best envy, your best infill is Slay Bunny. Light Assault, Annabelle. Best Medic, Zeponix. I love the name. And your best Max, Ipsozil?
That's a bit of a weird name. Yeah.
That's the name. Yeah.
So... yeah, just some interesting things I started doing. So you all been around since 2014, yes?
Yes. If I'm not wrong, and I wish we had Kazstar here to go over like the lore of how it all started.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not wrong, Sokaar created the outfit after leaving DAP. If I'm not wrong,
Dap?
and yeah,
Okay.
he was like the OG like big outfit on Emerald VS, and then like just kept playing, and the outfit just kept growing, and somewhere around I'd say 2017, Kazstar came in like the second leader that Horace talks about, and he started pushing in a few changes to the outfit, make it more well structured, and yeah, we've been having a great time ever since.
Okay, gotcha. Right on. Well, I'm very happy to talk to you. I appreciated Orbi you reaching out and striking up a place where we could do this. So, ExtraLife. This is not the first time you all have done this.
No, it's the third time actually, and I am not aware. I'm not sure if Rogue Planet Games themselves did Extra Life before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they did because I can't recall it.
I think individually that there were individual members who've done it in the past. But let's start at the beginning. What is ExtraLife?
All right, so Extra Life is actually a pretty interesting organization. They basically are connected to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I think that's what it's called. And they donate to hospitals that take care of children. And Extra Life is basically a second layer of that network where they mobilize gamers. The idea is that people donate money just by playing games. It's a way to like get the gaming communities out there to like contribute to a good cause in real life, you know. And it has been like hugely popular over the years. They've been at it for quite a long time now, and every year I think they raise like several millions of dollars for donations, and it's a pretty amazing initiative.
Gotcha. Several $1,000,000. I know our people in the past have been involved in it, to include you, and you said this is your third year in a row.
Yeah, so the first year we did was actually really interesting. Big shout out to the True Ref guys, Jordy, and everybody else on True Ref, because they were actually the ones to get us involved in Extra Life. We were already doing a few like events with them in game. And then one of their guys, I don't think he's with them anymore, but it was Bazinabab. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, don't you guys want to participate in the charity? Rogue Planet Games has this milestone. On the first year, they had, I think, 15,000 as their milestone. And there wasn't anybody. No. Rogue Planet Games.
Oh, Rogue Planet. Okay.
In the team, right? And they wanted people to come in as members of the team and try to reach that 15K goal.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I think True Ref were the only ones that actually had a team, you know, like there wasn't anybody else doing it. And they helped us to set it all up. They helped us to, you know, with the page and everything. And we got it all set up. I think we started the first one we did with $1,000 as our initial milestone. And in the first year, we ended up getting like, I think a bit over 3,000 in the first year. Then on the second year, we did it again, and the second year was just crazy. I think like in the first week or something, we broke through our milestone, and in the end, we got pretty, like I think just a little bit above 9,000 last year.
Wow.
And we broke through the 15,000 milestone that Rogue Planet Games had. That same year, I think Kamikaze did a bunch of like charity streams as well, and he got over 10K as well.
What was your final number for last year?
What was our what?
What was your final number for last year that you raised?
Yeah, we're not sure because the donations go all the way to the end of the year, and we
Okay.
kind of stopped keeping track after we went over 9,000. So we
Got it.
know, like the last times we checked, it was like 9,100, maybe something like that. But we may have missed a few donations, like in the end of December there. So we're not
Wow.
exactly sure, but it's just
So
a
we just
bit over
kind of
9,000.
round that up to 10,000 probably.
I mean, I
That's
think it
incredible,
was.
guys.
It
Dang.
is. It was mind-boggling. Like, and we never expected to go that far. Like, we have some crazy generous people in the community. Like, all of our three top donors this year, and on the past years as well, have donated over $1,000. So this year it's Lord Cipriani, Rusty Dawns, and Tater Nader. They've all like made huge donations by themselves. So we have like some hard carries on the donations there, but not just that, just in amount of people as well. Like everybody donates a little bit, and yeah, it's really amazing to see. Didn't expect it.
Rusty Dawns, as in the one that's in the chat right now.
Oh yeah,
Oh
probably.
yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
out,
It's
Rusty.
I see him.
Shout out to Rusty, the
Congrats.
legend.
Oh yeah.
Well, that
Huge shout out.
congratulations to you all, because right now, as of 15 minutes ago, you're at $6,007 is what I tracked.
Yeah. Yeah, already amazing. Like
Yeah.
we started out with just 3,000, Lanzer.
Mm-hmm.
Like we started with 3,000 as our final milestone, and I was like, guys, I think this year, it's gonna be a little bit slower. Maybe we can shoot a little bit lower for our milestones, and then boom, the first day we are already past the 3,000 mark.
Less than
So,
12 hours, yeah.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
head right through it.
So tell me, this is the I don't know how to word this, so I'm just going to word it badly. How is it that your community has rallied around this? I know that sounds weird, but not every community has been pushing out these numbers. What is
Yeah.
it about SKL that has made you successful for the third year in a row?
So I honestly, like, I don't know how to answer that question very well. Like I've been impressed by the engagement people have put in, because like it's a gaming community, right? It's not something you would think has that importance, where people are willing to engage financially with
Right.
something that you're doing in it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it has been so amazing to see. Like people are willing to, rally around a good cause in the SKL community, and we just can't put into words how proud we are of everybody that's jumping into it.
Yeah.
Like we never expected it. Like we never expected to get this sort of proportion, and it truly is amazing to see.
Do you remember who? You said two Raf got you all involved, but who was it that put their weight behind this and from SKL?
What do you mean? Like, do you mean members?
I guess what I'm asking is, two Raf was the one you said who got you involved. How did this catch within SKL? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so Bazinabab, and I'm not sure if he's gonna watch this. I don't even think he's in 2Ref anymore. But he reached out to me with some of the other 2Ref guys, and then he helped me set out the page. We got it all done, and we've planned how we were gonna go about the milestones, the rewards, the incentives. We try to make it as attractive as possible for people. Like in our Discord, if you go in our Discord, like we have a channel with all of the donations. We have our top donors displayed. And, we try to make a bunch of events that people would be interested in. So, they have a reward for donating and that sort of stuff. But ever since the first year, we've just been, the time comes, RPG announces it, and then we just set it all up again and kind of run with the format again.
Yeah.
And
are you
been pretty amazing.
Are you partnered with RPG? Like officially, I guess you could say?
No, I mean, in a sense, we've talked to them about the charity, right? And they've reached out to us a few times. Last year, we had Rel on our Discord. Like Rel, one of our milestones last year, we contacted them and we said, hey, if we pass you guys, because RPG donates like 5,000 every year, and we said to them, hey, if we pass you guys, would Rel be willing to come over and lead an SKL platoon with us? And he just said yes. So one of our milestones was a Rel platoon, and he came over to SKL and actually led an Indar alert with an SKL platoon, and we won the alert.
Picture or it didn't happen, Orbi. Where's the VOD?
Bro, yeah, there is a VOD, and we had a quick interview with him as well, so that was fantastic. It was just like an experience beyond like anything we could have hoped for.
Noah says he has a recording.
Yeah, we have some VODs of the platoon. It was really nice.
SKL, I'm in your Discord, so if one of you has that, post the link, tag me, and I'll see it.
There's a bunch of
Noah.
I know that.
Yeah, Noah, see if you can get the VODs for us.
Yeah, and Prozan.
I'm sure Zavrex had the interview recorded as well.
Yeah, Prozan said within SK itself, it was Orbi brought the charity to Elite Command, then the ruling council agreed on it, and that's how it happened. So, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And we have a bunch of the other SKL officers in your chat there.
Yeah, I see. Y'all are representing hard right now. Okay,
Yep.
so then let's get into kind of an extension of what I was asking a little bit earlier, but how is it that you all, is it your structure? What can you say about the motivation that this is caught on the way it has? Because I think it would be no exaggeration to say that this is a fairly unique occurrence. The third year in a row, and you've raised thousands of dollars, multi-thousands of dollars every time. There's got to be something in that recipe of yours.
I'll let you take that one, Horace. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, so there's a few things, and this kind of, like, it helps with the ExtraLife stuff and a lot of other, events and things like that we've done. But I would kind of, for ExtraLife at least, like Prozan said in the chat there, Orbi brought this fundraiser to our SKL leadership at the time. I was like, hey, like, we should do this. And so just with how passionate our leadership is with this game, and not just the game, but the community as well, just how passionate we are. We bring it to our ExtraLife stuff. We bring it to our platoons. It's in our Discord. And that alone is a big part of what keeps our motivation going. It's just how much we enjoy this game, how much we enjoy being a part of the community, the good people. And so getting a chance to have an event like this that we can all cooperate towards a nice cause, or, Outfit Wars, we had a really nice stuff there as kind of another event as an example. So all of us just really bond together through this stuff, and we love it through the community and through the game as well. I would say those are some of our really strong points that we have in our outfit.
And I think it would also be fair to say that starts at the top. You don't have that at the bottom if the leadership isn't on the same page about that. Thank you, Noah, for that clip. I just played you all with Rel in there. But yeah, let's get into that, because I think that was the next point, which is SKL itself. So I have here the tribute VOD, which is going to play silently in the background as we're talking. But SKL, what's a word that I could use to describe SKL? If you could just choose one right now, what would it be?
If I had to choose one, I think I would use the one I just kind of mentioned a second ago, is passion. As passion is what we are for this game, for this community.
And if I were to describe you to someone else, use that word in a sentence. How would I describe SKL?
Oh dear. So I'm not very good with words. I'll say it outright. Okay. But I would say, if I were recommending it to someone, I would say SKL is a very passionate outfit. If you are looking for, something that's really active, that you can jump in, have lots of really helpful people kind of guide you through the game, through the outfit. That's what we're looking for.
Right on, man. And the proof's in the pudding. Third year in a row for ExtraLife. First year is 3,000. Second year is 9,900. Just bumped that to 10K, and now you're at 6,000. I mean, those are results, and that comes from a very determined, passionate community.
Yeah, and we got a bunch of other stuff coming as well. We were discussing bumping that up to 10K, like in case we start getting close to 7, just to have like a blanket thing that we don't think we'll get to, but just so people can keep motivated. And we have a pretty nice milestone for the last one there if we do decide to change.
That's okay. You can have those goals. That's fine. I've been in a large outfit for many years, and that's just sometimes the way you got to do it.
Yeah.
So we've got passionate. So that's the word. Here I pulled this from, and I think Orbi, you're right. I pulled this from your in-game description. We field 100 plus member. We field 100 plus members during prime time each day, with at least 20 to 3 members online at all times. Though that's a pretty strong statement for me when I read that.
Yeah.
100 plus members each day during prime time. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure the numbers are exactly that, but it definitely floats around that area. Like I'd say prime time, like between 80 and 120 players, usually what we run. I think that like one thing that needs mentioning is that, and we're gonna talk more about it later, I'm sure. SKL has never looked for the monopoly. Right? And this is something that, we go over the community talking about all the time. SKL has never aimed to be as big as it is, or as big as it got. And at the moment, I think SKL is not even the biggest it has ever been. Like, probably last year or a few years ago, when the game is at its lowest point, and, outfits in this game just come in and out. A lot of outfits die, and whenever there's not a lot of people around, SKL has always been like permanently there. So we've kind of vacuumed up like everybody that just wants to find a place to play casually, people that are not as involved anymore, or even people that are involved and just want a place to play without worrying too much about it. So we've grown to like insane proportions, like being the largest outfit in the game for several years at this point. But it's just important for me to like say that it has never been something that we aimed for. It just happened naturally. And I think the important part there is just because of the focus that SKL has. SKL is an outfit that like rotates around public platoons. That's what we do. Like SKL just gets in game and open up public platoons. And we say it all the time in the community. That's how, you grow your community in game. You just get out there and you lead a bunch of people that have no connections to you. And if they like the experience that they get, they will, tag along and kind of play with you guys. And we've been lucky enough to have a bunch of extremely like fun and, decent leaders to play with. And it has gotten us, to the size that we are today.
Cronk.
Yeah, Horace can maybe go a little bit more. Yeah, Horace or Cronk can go a little bit more over that.
Horace, go ahead. What do you see from your level as a co-lead?
Yeah, so a big part of it, like all of what Orbi said, absolutely agreed with that. We latch on to the leads we see in game, right? Whatever outfit they are, and so kind of look what Orbi was saying. Having such a strong level of leadership, we put a large focus in the game on our leadership, in their training, in having a steady activity. We have a platoon at least usually every day, and so there's always more opportunity there for people to join us and kind of see what we're all about. And just because we always have a rotating number of leaders, people are always getting slight variations of the different leaders out there, different styles. And so it's really, really nice to have such a variety of gameplay in the one outfit.
So what I think I heard something key there, because Devil Dogs, we do a lot of public platoon leading as well, and at the moment we're at a dip in activity. But you said you rotate your public platoon leaders, yes?
Yeah, so not in any kind of specific order. So I guess what I meant there was we don't have a whole lot of scheduled regular ops. Like we have scheduled events, we do have some scheduled operations in game, but for the most part, a big part of what lets us get out there and be a fairly active presence is we give our leads, their training, we give them everything they need, and then they can just kind of start a platoon anytime. We can fill it up really quick. People are always looking for those platoons. And so it's just a very natural process. People want to get out there and lead in game. They just get out there. It can be 2 a.m. in the morning. Someone can start a platoon. It can be 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Someone can be starting a platoon. And so that's kind of what I'm saying. We just constantly rotate wherever people have the interest and the energy to get out there and start leading.
Gotcha. Yeah, Prozan was just saying that you don't stay in stagnant groups. People train their replacements in a loose sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second half of our focus, I'd say. Like the thing we do in game is lead public platoons. And the thing we do outside of the game, like the priority we have is the refreshment of ranks. And I think that is like one thing that, smaller outfits or even outfits that don't have the same level of activity struggle with. And it's what eventually leads to an outfit kind of, slowing down or hitting a low point in activity, because it's important for you to have rotating leadership, right? I'm platoon leading this week. Next week, I'm going to be busy. I need someone, to continue leading. If I have new leaders getting drawn into platoon leading and to squad leading, we can keep it going. We can always have public platoons out there. And I don't think this is important just for us. We have like this sort of larger view of the game, and it's kind of what the points that I talked to you about were, where I think the live experience of PlanetSide 2 needs this. Like this is almost sort of like a public service to PlanetSide, is why a lot of us were so excited about the announcement of the, squad and platoon changes and that sort of stuff. Because at least most of the people that we play with, and it's a lot of people, right? They get in game, and one of the first things that they do is open up the squad finder to see who's up. They log in, and they're looking for that sort of experience, that sort of team play. They're looking for the platoons, they're looking for the squads. They're always asking, hey, do we have something up? Are you guys running a platoon? And when you don't have that, the experience on the live game just sort of stagnates. And it's not just true for our community, it's true for VS, TR, and C, every server. So that's kind of what we focus on. It's that public platoon, constant leadership sort of idea. And I guess it's why we have been so successful over the years.
And it sounds like if you could advise any type of outfit, small, medium, large, they're either in the dumps or they're looking to be you. What would you say are some things that they should be keeping in mind?
Well, I think honestly it's just as simple as that. It's much harder when you're a smaller outfit, and I've been in smaller outfits, to keep up the same level of leadership, right? You are not going to have a person every day to lead a platoon. What usually happens in SKL is somebody starts a platoon, they play for a few hours. Whenever they need to go, there's somebody else to pick up that platoon. And there are nights where we have platoons that have been going for like maybe 10, 8, 9 hours, just switching over platoon leaders constantly. A smaller outfit just simply can't do that. But you need to start somewhere. You need to start by leading publicly, attract people into your outfit, and then focus on getting other leaders that can do the same thing as you. Get a leadership training going. Try to get some people that are willing to go out there and herd the cats. And the hardest problem right now is this, right? It's a kind of a thankless job. It's not that attractive for you to log in and pick up map side, where you're not even shooting heads,
yeah.
instead of just, picking your heavy assaults and, go try to have a nice KD by the end of your session. So yeah, it's hard. It's not easy to maintain community. But yeah, that's how it goes. I don't think there's any other advice that would have the same impact. It's public platoon leading and focusing on refreshment of leadership.
Horace, what about you? What advice would you have, in your words?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with Orbi on the leadership side of it. It's all the public platoon leading. It's the best spot that you can be in to really attract members. I was kind of saying earlier, I was talking about the rotating members and kind of the variance of gameplay. You have a good opportunity there to really show people who just log into the game, they're a new player. It's much easier for people to just log in, jump in a platoon, with whatever outfit that might be leading it, and just get a really good sense of that outfit, as opposed to going to the outfit finder in game and seeing descriptions and doing a lot of reading. So really the best place to bring more people in, get them interested, get them to stay in your outfit, is to just be out there leading and really showing what you're all about, at the same time as providing that awesome public leading experience.
How do you do that when you're struggling to have members volunteer? What if you were faced with that situation as SKL? What do you do?
Oh wow. Well, okay. I'm not there, so I guess the situation depending, I would do stuff. But if I had to guess, I would probably, first it's a thing of expectations, right? If you're a small outfit, if you manage to get 2 new members, one night, that's awesome. That's so much more than you were at before you started. So expectations, absolutely. It's gonna be a snowball, that just grows and grows, and that kind of momentum, right, is the other thing there. Like, start small, set your expectations, but then you keep momentum. It's as long as you have the energy, at least at the start, to take up the work of what you might be able to have other leaders take on for you later on. It's just that consistent activity. I remember this. I wasn't there when it was going on. I unfortunately haven't had much interaction with Sokaar. I've heard a lot of stories. A really, really awesome lead. But I remember hearing about how back when Sokaar was around and leading, it would be every single day. And so I have to imagine that did a big part in just bringing more players into the outfit. It's just that constant activity, this one lead leading every day.
Yeah, I've been there. Connor.
Yeah.
Cronk, what about you? Where is what's it look like where you're sitting?
Ooh, where I'm sitting at is for like how you'd want to get more members and stuff.
Well, do you have any advice from where you're sitting? Let's start with that. We'll get to your unicorn status. Don't worry about that.
Okay, all right. I'm waiting for that. I mean, honestly, I feel like I don't really have the experience to kind of speak for an outfit as a whole, but you can kind of see this similar thing within SKL as a whole. Like, we have such a diverse group of leaders. Each one has their own style, There's some people that'll get on just to be in like a platoon with one leader just because they like the way they do X or Y or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to me. Like, for a small outfit, I feel like if you want to develop it, you just got to kind of take that approach, kind of build your own unique style of doing stuff, build yourself up, get your own like unique way of doing things, and then hopefully you'll get that momentum like these other 2 mentioned, and then you can just get more members headed in and just grow from there.
Gotcha. So the other half of y'all's statement is with at least 20 to 30 members online at all times. First of all, I'm asking this out of ignorance because I don't play Emerald. How true is that every day?
I think 20 is a bit much. I think like it can go as low as like maybe 5 or 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't put it much past that. Like we always have people online, and it's usually just the legionnaires, early morning, that sort of stuff. But there's always people online. Not as much anymore. I think SKL has kind of, slowed down a bit, especially because of, the recent success of other outfits on Emerald VS, which is something that we've been loving to see. Like, the other people are also doing public platoons, and there are other groups like thriving as well. But yeah, we always have people on. There's no time of the day that you're gonna log in and there's no SKL members online. I think probably between 10 to 20 at the lowest points, but we always have people on at all times.
Gotcha. Okay. And yep, Mentality said that over the past 4 or 5 months, she has always logged in and seen at least 10 members on for SKL. So there's a nice little plug.
Yeah.
Prozan, appreciate you being so involved. You're giving me a lot of context as the talking's going on. Prozan said SKL is a bit of a melting pot when it comes to leads and members. And that can be, there's a lot of good stuff that can come from that too.
Prozan should be here. Actually, we should bring him in. I think he's at work, so he can talk. But
so, okay, no, that makes sense. I'm starting to see the pattern. Good to just that motivation. Like I can see where, like when I had one of my outfit leads on a few StratSides ago, D's, and we talked about how difficult it is for us right now to maintain that activity after 10 years now when we're and
I
and
watched
how we're
that one. That was one of my favorites.
We're in a bit of a lull.
So far.
So to see you all doing what you're doing, like that's encouraging. I'm not jealous. I'm not jelly at all. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I always find it a bit sad to see because and this is like part of what we go through, right? Like I said, platoon leading in general and just kind of maintaining the community in general doesn't have a lot of like objective rewards, right? It's a bit of a thankless, hard job in game. Like you get like the rewarding community, right? But you don't get a lot outside of that. And it's also extremely easy to burn out on. Like the core issues with PlanetSide, I think, affect the platoon leaders more than anybody else, right? Just the fact that it's a 1v1v1 means that you as a platoon leader will lose most of the times. Nobody can win more than 50% of the time. So as a platoon leader, as someone who's playing for that, you are constantly losing more than you're winning. So it's hard to keep, the leaders interested, especially after being so long without us getting, something for us specifically. Now looking at the capture the flag stuff that they announced, being the first major change, I think, to the, just the way the map plays. I think almost since Lattices that we haven't had a change that big to like just how the capture mechanics work and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that changes the meta and yeah, you're right. It's a thankless job. I've done many a public platoon leading for Devil Dogs, and burnout is a real thing.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely passionate. I'd say like probably around 75% of my time in this game, and I have like 6,000 hours, have been just platoon leading. I get in game and I want to platoon lead. I don't do anything else. I just open my map and that's what I play. But it is a thankless job. Like it's hard. It can be frustrating at times. You're constantly under pressure. So it's very understandable because a lot of the good platoon leaders, the people that did it way back when, they're still around. They're just not interested in doing it anymore.
I agree with that, and I'm still in a little bit of burnout mode, but I think I'm gonna probably get back. I'm probably gonna get back into it now that Outfit Wars is done. My VODs are starting to settle into a nice rhythm. Yeah. So I want to pivot now onto the discussion slide, slide 7. You all, so Orbi, you all said that SKL has a pretty passionate view when it comes to topics like these. Let's start first with the new players and the vets. And Cronk, I want to start with you, our unicorn who came from PS4.
Yeah.
Tell me about that process, and then we can get to the rest of it.
Ooh, okay. So, well, obviously moving from PS4, I'd spent about 2 years on there maining TR, so it was a little tough to be like, oh, I spent all this money on PS4, I gotta move over and restart. I'm pretty sure I just saw it on Steam, and I was just like, I remember playing this game on Steam, PlanetSide 2. Or back on PS4. I was like, this game was fun. I want to try re-downloading this, So I go in, I'm making my character, and I'm like, do I want to main TR again, or should I try something different? I was like, wait, the VS, they had that one gun. What was it? It was the Betelgeuse. Yeah, and I always got killed by that thing. That thing's OP. I should join VS and try to get that thing. So I get in there, I spawn in, I'm walking in the wharf gate, and I just open my squad finder, and I just see like SKL squad, blah blah blah, whatever. I was a little, hesitant about it because I had heard like there were some big outfits back on PS4 that essentially didn't do anything. There was one with like 14,000 people, I want to say. It was huge, but like it was completely dead. So I was a little like, I really hope these guys aren't like them, I guess I'll join up, something like that. But it was crazy. It was awesome. Coming from PS4, I mean, I was a complete fish out of water. Mouse and keyboard compared to controller. I couldn't shoot. I couldn't do anything. But I just fell in love with like the structure, how open and welcome it was to like all the new players and stuff. Like, and then I found myself becoming, one of those people that wanted to help all the new players coming in just over time, like just rising through the ranks, leading platoons, just helping in whatever facet I could in SKL, just fun stuff like that.
And when you said that you had joined in 2017, was that PS4 or was that PC?
Oh yeah, I started back in PS4 back on 2017, and I played up until about 2019, and then I took a bit of a 2-year break, and then I mean, just came back in 2021, end of last year. I was like literally on Christmas break from college.
So you are brand new.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Last year. I'm not even in this outfit for a whole year yet.
Jeez.
December 15th. Yeah. Yep, that's when I joined.
So what's that new player experience been like? And just you can compare it PS4. I know you went into it a little bit, but dig me a little deeper there, because I'm interested to know. I don't think I've ever come across a player like you before.
Oh man. It was PS2 is notoriously a pretty hard game to get into, so it was a real struggle at first, coming from PS4 where there was like basically no tutorial, no big like SKL outfit, like running platoon showing you how to do stuff, stuff like that. And so at first it was kind of just, you got to figure it out by yourself, go out into the wild, start shooting people, try to get kills, die a whole lot, pull like a 0.2 KD and be like, oh man, this is kind of rough. And then just keep going. But
what convinced you to keep going for 2 years on PS4?
Ooh, I had found my own little, I guess, niche back then. I joined this little outfit. We had formed around some little PS4 streamer. We were like less than 50 people. It was crazy. And I just, I found my little group. I stuck with it. It's been largely the same story with SKL here. Just
gotcha.
Found a group, stuck with it, dedicated to it, and just, fun stuff like that.
So you come to PC, you see SKL, and then that's when it just opens up.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Got in there, just started working in like whatever means I could for SKL, and then just climbed the ranks, and here we are today.
So Orbi, Horace, either one, what's that induction to where Cronk could just come right in, and now Cronk, you said you're one of the platoon leaders now?
One of our moderators, yeah.
Oh, moderators, that's right. Discord moderators, you said?
Yeah, just kind of an overall in-game and Discord moderator.
So
I've gone
Horace,
through all
Orbi,
the
was it a matter of passion and he's really active and that just kind of paved the way? How'd that work to where that was available for him?
Yeah, I think Horace can probably go a little bit more in depth of how it went with Cronk, but he is just like one of the recent prodigies that we've got. Like just amazing people that we meet and are like interested in the community and start participating, buy into the idea of what we have here and think, hey, maybe I can do something else, maybe I can participate, maybe I can find a spot for me in here. And yeah, he's found his spot, and thank God we found him.
Absolutely.
And how?
Yeah, very much.
No, go ahead, Horace. Go ahead.
Okay. Just kind of was going to add on to what Orbi said there. With we saw Cronk. He came in, showed a really nice interest. I mentioned earlier, a big part of what we have here that's really nice is our enjoyment of the game, the community, our passion here. And so we see Cronk as like, oh man, he's got all these qualities like already there. We just need to kind of guide him through how he can really use that. So we got him leading. I'm sure he can mention a couple of people that were really there to help mentor him in that aspect. And he's gone through a lot of our leadership roles already. Orbi mentioned a while ago, we're like right now, I think today probably is what was the biggest part. We've revamped a lot of our structure, and so this is kind of where Cronk comes in right now as one of our moderators. But he's been a platoon leader, he's been a squad leader, he's been really a really nice contributor to our outfit. So for sure, it all just starts with his interest, and we're there to kind of help facilitate that.
And so Horace, as an outfit lead, or even Orbi as an officer, how do you all manage that fine line between the vets who've been here for a while and the new players with their eager beaver experience, passion? How do you tread the two?
Or do you want to take that, or do you want me to?
I mean, honestly, ranks in SKL are just tied to willingness. And obviously the quality of the person coming in, we have to judge the person, make sure we're not bringing anybody in that has bad opinions or are going to paint a bad light or just do something that we wouldn't be proud of. So we need to make sure everyone has good character when they're coming in, right? We talk a lot about this in SKL. It's hard to find people that both have the practical knowledge, right, the leading stuff, the strategy, and just the knowledge in general, and also is not a jerk, and whenever you find those people, those are the ones that you want to get and bring on to the chain of command. And you have to kind of navigate that the best you can. We don't have limitless resources even in SKL, and even we still struggle with finding new leaders to fill in the positions. We're always short-handed. But it's always amazing how many good people you can find. It always baffles me how you can get in game and find these amazing people that are willing to give their volunteer time into helping out the community. And you find them all the time, and Cronk is just another recent example. Same as Horace was the exact same thing as Cronk. He came in, started doing the leadership stuff, the trainings, all of that, started participating, and we just find a place for that person whenever we think they're ready, and they just take it from there. And Horace now is the outfit leader. Also recent stuff, has been the outfit leader for very little time at this point.
And apparently you found 4,400 people that fit that mold.
That too, yeah.
And Prozan gave Cronk some props in chat, saying that you helped write guides for the academy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've written a few of the Devil Dogs guides myself, and I props to you, man, because that takes a lot of work and research to get right.
Oh yeah, it was real fun. I remember stepping in as they're just like, we have all these academies, Cronk. We need you to help with one. I'm like, okay, which one do you want me to help with? I didn't care. They're like, we're gonna put you in construction. I was like, ooh, okay,
yeah.
That's. I can't say I do a lot of building, but I'll give it a shot. But
yeah, I wrote the Devil Dogs construction one too. That was good.
Yeah, it's a lot to write about. I mean, it was a lot of work, but I absolutely loved it. Just writing guides and stuff. And I was just having that opportunity to share knowledge with a new player or something like that. Just the selflessness involved in it was just awesome to me. Just the whole academy system in general was just incredible.
Yeah, you hit it. I love sharing that knowledge. So it sounds like you all are pretty passionate about being an Orbi. When you're talking about, you want to make sure you get the right people involved and and the right person in the outfit and in your leadership. But it sounds like you all are pretty dead set on being a positive force, and the responsibility you said that your outfit has to create that good experience where people like Cronk can come in and just seamlessly on ramp.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, we're the largest outfit in the game, you know. For VS, just specifically, when someone joins the game, they have a very big chance of bumping into SKL. You know, it's very likely that the first experience of the community of PlanetSide they'll get will be us. You know, they'll join the game, they'll join a squad, and they'll run into us straight away. So this is the part where we kind of make the NPE for the game, you know, and it's the sort of stuff that we try to push, you know, because I think that most people, they end up sticking around after they interact with a platoon or a squad. You know, some people may not get into that, but I think a lot of people, they come in and they do eventually get into joining a squad or a platoon. And if they get a great experience on that squad or platoon, they will stick around. And that's kind of it, right? It has been like that for me. I think it has been like that for Horace. It has been like that for most of the people that I know of. My first experience in the game was, you know, drop podding into a fight, getting killed repeatedly, and then joining a public platoon and thinking like, oh God, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. Like we have like 50 people going around the map doing like strategy stuff on a huge battlefield. This is what I love, you know? And you stick around after that. But then if that first experience is you joining a platoon and then you have someone saying something toxic, or people are discussing some, you know, something that doesn't pertain to the game, or they're yelling at the platoon, or the comms are just a mess, or maybe there are no comms at all, then that person is just going to leave and he's never coming back, you know? And it's not something that we had to take, but it is kind of a burden for outfits that run public platoons in general, you know? And we decided to pick up that burden quite a few years ago. Kazstar, the other outfit leader, was the one that said, we need to be responsible for all of this. We can't just let the outfit, you know, not care about all these things, because this is the part we take in the game, right?
There you go. Coming from the top. Horace, that's you now. You and Kazstar and Sokaar. So are you and the leadership team, y'all are in complete agreement about what Orbi said? Like, do you all have differing opinions and it's just playing out in this specific way? How does it look like at your level?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like everything Orbi said so far, you know, for all of that, for the different points we've discussed already, like I could basically mirror that, you know, in my own opinions as well, coming from me. Very much. That was honestly when I started leading in PlanetSide. This was back, you know, I didn't have a lot of leadership skills. I didn't have, you know, these skills to like lead in PlanetSide and learn the maps and all that. But even aside from the gameplay, the big part that stuck out to me was just how much these people cared about the representation that they gave the community, about how much they cared about the new players that were coming in and the effect that they could have. You know, I mean, it was easy, like, you know, Orbi said, it's a big outfit, so it was easy for me to see them and you know, say like, oh, you know, start asking the questions. Who are they? You know, can I get involved? But what kept me there was really just that that representation of how SKL impacted the community and how we can help with that. And so I knew right then, you know, at the one training that Orbi gave, actually, right there, he was the one that gave it. And just, yeah, I stuck around after that. So that was really nice. And, you know, to answer your question directly, I guess, like, absolutely, you know, we've got a pretty unified set of goals here among all our leadership.
Sounds like it. You can definitely see the fruit that it bears.
Yeah, and Lanzer, just like to kind of top it off there, because like it's kind of an idealized version in general. Like it's sort of the philosophy that we have in SKL, right? This is what we aim at, but we try not to pretend like it is a perfect case, right? It's not the perfect scenario yet. This is kind of what we struggle to achieve. But I know that same as any other outfit out there, SKL still has a bunch of flaws. Like, our outfit members are not perfect whatsoever.
Sure.
We have flaws in our leadership. I myself am way more passionate about all of this than I should be, and sometimes I do get heated. So we have our flaws too, but that's kind of what we aim for. We want to try to get as close as we can to that sort of idea. So yeah, it's
Okay.
not perfect, but it's as good as we can make it.
Yeah. I definitely understand the turbulence that can go on in a big, large, organized outfit. As much as there's a unified vision, the differing methods and how you get there, and should this be our left boundary, and should that be our right boundary?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of passionate people in the room wanting to see the organization go a particular way. You can get into some discussions.
Oh, dude, you should see how many meetings we have in a week.
I have no doubt that I understand just how many meetings you have.
It could be a business at this point.
Several months, I think we have more time in meetings for SKL than we have playtime. Actually.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have one, it's not like a 30-minute hey, we're just gonna be quick. It's like 6 hours. Like, we're in there, we're in the trenches, just grinding it out. It's crazy.
I know.
Longest, yeah.
And the higher up in the echelon you go, it seems like the more meetings you're attending rather than playing the game.
Pretty much, yeah. That's something we always try to be like, okay, we've figured it out. Now everybody go play. It's what we're here for.
So we talked about the positive side. Now juxtapose that to the opposite. Tell me about the negative side and what you see there. Not even just SKL, but what does it mean to be a negative force in the game, in the community? Or you touched on it a little bit, but dig a little deeper for me.
So, and this is a bit personal, right? I don't think this is like SKL speaking here. This is what I think. I think that you have bad groups in all levels, right? You can have a bad small outfit and you can have bad big outfit. Like, you can have bad experience across the spectrum of sizes there. And what happens when you have a bad big outfit is when you get these outfits that are just there and they're not kind of doing anything with their members, and it just gets worse if their leadership core has like character flaws, right? Mm-hmm. If you have people that are toxic or people that are whining or whatever you want to call it, they just make the experience in their platoons a little bit bad. And that happens across the board, right? I think that there is like empiric value in running public platoons no matter what. Okay. There's like just a standard value to running public platoons. So any group doing that, in my eyes, are already being a positive force, But the way that they behave themselves while doing that is the other side of the coin, right? Gotcha. If you have a public platoon where your platoon leader is being a jerk to the platoon, he's giving a bad experience to everybody in there. And it may be something small, it may be something big, it can go as wide as people just, being as toxic as it gets, or just someone not being, decent in their platoons.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think that's kind of what the bad force would be, and we have a few examples here and there of people that may be doing more harm than good. But I just think that like the community right now has some bad apples in it, but overall, like most of the people are just great. Like Emerald VS, for example, is just a bunch of amazing people. TR has just a bunch of amazing people this time around. Like most of the outfits out there that have survived this long are just good people, I don't have like enemies with any of the outfits on Emerald, I don't think, outside of just like a few bad apples that we have out there, right?
Gotcha. Cronk, where do you stand on all this? You're the new guy.
Ooh, as far as like toxicity and whatnot. And
I'd say when you transitioned over, what sort of negative force did you see then versus what you see now?
I can't say I've ever really been exposed to anything that bad. I mean, you get the occasional like yell chat dude or like, a little bit of teabagging going on or some dumb stuff like that. But I mean, it's never been anything like super awful.
Gotcha.
You'll get like some people being kind of like obnoxious in platoon comms or just trolling or trying to like, team kill or mess with you. But I mean, it's just nothing really that bad. Yeah, like Rusty said in chat, I mean, I feel like VS on Emerald has a pretty solid community. Like, they're all pretty nice.
I was about to say, I've heard the VS Emerald is a really nice place to be. Like a Wonderland, like a Alice in Wonderland vibe to it.
It's absolutely insane. Like Emerald VS, SKL, VKTZ, VSTD, Praetorians, B-Way. Whenever you get like these people running, Ghosts of the Revolution, Fish with Feet, Vindicators, whenever you get these guys running,
Vindicators,
you have this sort of idealized version of command chat. It's almost like surreal for you to participate in, because it almost feels like 90% or 80% of the VS population in a map are talking in command and like being productive, and it's just amazing. People just have respect across the board. They may not like each other so much, we have our favorites in the community like everybody else, but we don't get like any kind of blind hate being thrown around at anybody. We just play the game together and enjoy it. So
good. Horace, how about you? Where do you sit?
Yeah, so kind of, it's a lot of almost a combination. I kind of would guess for myself between what Orbi and Cronk have said so far. It's a really, really nice community, and kind of like I was saying earlier, with when I started playing the game, that was really what drew me in from the get-go. It's just how respectful the community is, how open it is. So
and when you say community, you're talking SKL or you're talking VS?
I'm talking VS, yeah, and honestly, the PlanetSide community as a whole, but definitely VS especially. So I can't really say there's a whole lot of examples that I would have of a lot of toxicity. Like Orbi said, there's a few people there, and it's like, oh yeah, that's not so great, but we move on, and we move on as a really good community together.
Gotcha.
So it's really, really nice. I would say it's honestly a big reason why I'm still playing the game after 2 years as well, because you're never thinking, okay, so what kind of toxic stuff is going to come up tomorrow? It's that thought just never comes around. It's just always, okay, what kind of fun are we going to have the next day? So there's not a lot. There are some days, like Orbi was saying, there's some people who come around not so great. You get the occasional person comes around, ruins the fun, and command chat, yelling whatever. But other than that, it's a really, really great community. So I really don't have a lot of examples of the negative side of things.
So something I'd like to ask you about as a follow-on to that. What is it that you, sitting at the top of the leadership, you, Katsar, and I guess I could count Sokaar as well, what are you dead set about SKL not being?
Oh, wow. Okay, well, kind of, I'll start first with what we do try to be is kind of a abbreviation of what Orbi said. We want to be a place where a lot of new players can come in, really feel welcome, and get integrated into the game very easily. Provide a lot of opportunity for players. So kind of what we're not, we don't want to be an outfit where it's hard for players to come play with us. That's why we run our open platoons as opposed to closed on Discord and stuff. We don't want to be an outfit, that lets like Orbi was saying, those few bad apples in and get in our leadership and kind of ruin what we have going here. So we're very, we try to have it be as open as possible, but with that balance of, okay, what kind of person is this? Are they going to help our leadership? And so it's this balancing act of
aware,
of all that.
Very aware.
Yeah, we try to be, exactly. But for sure, I would say the biggest thing that we always are trying to strive to, in the context of your question, what we try to avoid doing is, getting away from the place where we are now of being really open to our new players.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think I think I can jump in there real quick, because I think and to Horace as well and to Castar, and hard to put these things into words, without thinking them before, but like I think what really drives us in the way that we moderate the community and that we try to maintain the community is in just trying our best to make SKL into a safe space. Like we don't want it to be a hostile space towards anybody. And I think that's kind of like rule number one, right? If there's hostility going around with anyone in the community, it's not all right. We need to deal with that. And that's kind of number one priority there.
Absolutely.
And then we go from there. Like if there's anyone being harassed or anyone, going through a hard time inside SKL for any reason whatsoever, that's, the point that I think we're the strongest at. There's no conversation there. It's just, that's it. And I think it's kind of what we push for the most. And it's what we've had like a few, I'd say, strongest discussions in the past about this. And to me, that's like the strongest focus there is just making sure SKL doesn't become a hostile environment.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I would agree with that, Orbi. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Summed it up perfectly.
So let's get into some specifics about meta. Because Orbi, you brought up a few different topics that we could go over. I'm super passionate about elite fits, Zerg fits, large mid. I think you mentioned it, and I've done StratSides for hours alone just on these topics.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about it. I'm a large fit casual. I don't know, to the day I die. I just like what we bring to the table. I like what SKL brings to the table. Just the way that you can go about creating an atmosphere that is welcoming, that is driven, that ends up being that force for good, where you're adding numbers to the game, you're on-ramping new players in a way that welcomes them in. They can contribute if they so choose. And my general definitions that I've been going with, and I haven't found a reason to change it yet, is a small fit I tag as 1 to 100 players, mid fit 100 to 500 players, and then large fit is over 500 players. So when you go into the in-game browser and you click the members, I'm pretty much tracking and bracketing at that, what you see there in the drop down. So that's where I start with. But let's jump into the difference and the different topics that you all wanted to delve into when it comes to elite fits, Zerg fits, large fits, mid fits, small fits. Who wants to start? Who's got the most passion?
No, I
Orbi,
think you
if you
guys.
wanna
Yeah,
go for
no,
it.
you guys go first because I'm gonna start talking and I'm never gonna stop here.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, Cronk, Horace, if you guys wanna, just put your views out there.
Cronk, you want to go first? Okay, I'll go first then.
Oh,
Sure.
Go right ahead. You go crazy.
Okay. So actually I should say, while Orbi was talking, I was responding to something else here. So if you could just condense the question for me so I can...
Yep, all right, I'll condense the question. There's a lot of terms that have been in our community since beta. We've got large fits, which I define as 500 or more players. Mid fits, 100 to 500 players. Small fits, 1 to 100 players. Then you've got your Zerg fits, which is some loose definition of a mindless swarm of players just latticing or ghost capping down a lattice in its worst form. In its best other form, it's large, organized play that just, you can't beat us because we have too many numbers and we're organizing you. Then you've got your elite fits. Generally, I'd say your small and mid fits, but more tight-knit, hardcore players looking for the W and optimizing their gameplay and selectively recruiting to improve everything from stats to just, like recursion, taking that W for Outfit Wars. Where would you like to start on commenting on that environment that we have in our community?
Sure. So yeah, I guess when I think of small fits, with that number, I think of really close, tight-knit communities, at their best. I was kind of talking earlier, that's a really nice potential for a snowball, especially if you're out there leading a lot of the time. So it's just, you can kind of guarantee a nice environment, you know, at their best. It's the community gets really tight knit, everybody gets to know each other. And that's kind of what I like about the idea of a small fit, is you can get in and do some very specific things. You know, you think of some small fits, their whole thing is, okay, we get in there, we start our squad or platoon, and we point hold, you know, all of us together. And that's our thing, or we run armor or whatever it is. But they're very good at doing specific kind of play styles that really fits their numbers. And kind of, so for play style, so that. But then on the opposite end, you have large fits, for example, that can do a lot more of that. You know, even at their best, in a very organized way. But it is much harder to have so many people and also still be able to really get to know all of your members. And you know, even though you can have the potential for so much more, all of that comes with a certain extra weight to really use all that potential. So, you know, it's you know, always something we think about in SKL. You know, how can we really engage more with our new members that are coming in? You know, how can we get to know them? How can they get to know us? That's something we deal with as a large fit. I've never been in a small fit myself yet. I've, you know, been with SKL this entire time, but I would kind of imagine that that's much easier. You know, even though they don't have the numbers, it's this give and take that kind of happens depending on your numbers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was with Hostile Takeover for a time, and they were a small fit. That was the Kid Riot outfit, way back when, and you could tell that I could tell the difference between them and the Devil Dogs in terms of the atmosphere and kind of what you said. It could be a little more difficult at its worst to get to know the members in a big large fit, whereas in a small fit at its best, you can kind of guarantee that community atmosphere, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think an easy way to put it is like small fits are usually just a group of friends playing together. That's it. Like small fits are just a bunch of friends that like playing together. And a large outfit is almost like an organization, right? You're a part of something bigger, sort of say. And I think there are positives and negatives to both sides, definitely. And this is something that I personally don't disagree with the people out there. It would be best if people, you know, had more friends to play with at all times, you know, and everybody was more friendly, sort of the stuff that you get on smaller communities, because everybody can just have more contact with everybody. It's kind of sad for us, but it is true. Like the names just get lost on the amount of people that we have. You know, I log in and I see a bunch of Legionnaires. We may have like 100 people online, and I can only know just a handful of them. I will never get to know all of our Legionnaires. So yeah, there's definitely like positive and negative points for both sides there. It's different experiences, right? But I think that one simply can't exist without the other. I think that like the systems that we have of large outfits doing what they're doing and small outfits doing what they're doing is simply indispensable. Like the game wouldn't exist without this.
There's a circle of life for sure going on there. Cronk, you've been sitting in your corner patiently. What are you thinking?
I mean, the different kinds of outfits, I mean, they all kind of serve their own purpose, you know? Like Horace said, it's just kind of like, you know, your tiny small fits, they'll usually start on some kind of like specific point, whether that's like a certain person or like in my case back on PS4, you know, I was in one formed around like a streamer and stuff. We just had like our own little community, and then kind of shifting perspective to something that's like SKL, where it's an outfit that's like half the size of the town I live in, which is just mind-boggling to think about. Like it's crazy. There's just so much like potential, and obviously the game would be a lot more boring if everything was just like some, you know, big outfit, an entire faction is just one big outfit or something like that. So having that diversity is just really, really important for just, I feel like, the health of the game overall. And then you take that into something like Outfit Wars, which was a blast to play in, by the way. Never thought I'd do something like that back on PS4, but
yeah, SKL ranked 5th in Emerald.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah. We
T-Raf,
totally swung above
T-Raf
our weight.
nudged you out of the championship.
That was insane.
Yeah.
That was
It was
really insane.
crazy.
Like we actually need to talk about that because I believe I
Yeah.
saw like
What, like
the
a group
community.
therapy session, Orbi? You got some
Bro.
You gotta
PTSD?
debrief. You gotta
Yeah,
debrief it. It was that
I
crazy.
was not here for Outfit Wars. I sadly missed it. But when I saw that we got fifth place, I was completely blown away. Like I think the community voted SKL as like number 12 or something out of
like
the outfits that were signed up.
Yeah.
Like we got high up there, bro.
Yep.
Just behind like
Yep.
the
1,300
finalists.
points, ranked 5th, right at the championship cutoff line. Let's see if I can. There you are. Right there. Oh, it won't
Yeah.
let me there.
Amazing performance. Just our guys did an amazing job. And SKL was one of the 2 outfits that did not get warp gated once.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Never got warp gated once.
I don't remember us getting warp gated either. We were Sammy, but we were Connery, so
Oh, yeah, see?
yeah, we're NC.
Ooh.
Yeah,
But
there
we
you go.
got 12th. We didn't make it into the Did we make it into qualifier? No, we didn't make it in the qualifiers. So y'all got us on that one.
All right, yeah.
So what?
Tough competition out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I was listening to like the different interviews, and I think Orbi, that's even where no. Horace, was it you? Did you do the interviews?
I had done one interview at the end of one of our matches. Yeah, so I've been there. Might I think we've had different leads at different interviews for the end of some Outfit War stuff, but I've done one of them.
Yeah, I found the interviews the most interesting part. For some reason, I eagerly listened to the interviews because there was all the conversations that happened there. I didn't really hear much shade thrown either in most of those discussions, but it was definitely like, hey, here's what we were thinking. And you could just tell the conversation was different than Outfit Wars V1 and V2. Call it.
True.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but the 1v1v1 format definitely had more space for, sort of drama and, just rising up the blood pressure.
Sure.
And the 1v1 format was just straightforward, and the Emerald community in general, I think just like the outfits have a good relationship with each other. Like the main outfits here, they don't usually hate each other all that much, so people are willing to talk. We have discussions between outfit leaders going on the regular across faction borders. So
now that's
yeah, it was
interesting
definitely
to
great
hear.
to see.
Because a Connery player looking at Emerald, I'm just like, yo, where's your organization? Where is it? Y'all don't seem like you interact with each other that much. It almost is like a meme fest is what I'm looking at here from the outside looking in.
We actually do. Like SKL has like a pretty tight like leadership community. Most of the outfit leaders are in the same place together, and outfit reps, and we talk to each other on the regular. There's just not much going on, there's not much interaction going on of people like going over the border and doing stuff with like one another. But we talk to each other on the regular. It's pretty good. I think we have a good environment here.
Good. Okay. So then pivot to maybe where the more colorful conversation might emerge is the conversation between elite fits, Zerg fits. You can call them sweat fits. There's a whole bunch of names at this point. Where do you all fall on that? I have a feeling you all land in a different place than Connery does, just by the way your server culture is from ours.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that like personally to me, being in SKL right now, I just think that like my perspective at this point is warped. Just because SKL is such a massive thing.
Mm-hmm.
That at this point, like even looking outside, I don't see anything that even comes close to us. So it's hard to position ourselves, when you look at someone like VKTZ, which be like the second largest VS outfit out there, they are still pretty small compared to us, and they are like maybe just as active with the amount of players they get in at nights. but yeah, like I said before, I think there's a pretty clear set of like positions that the outfits should be in, right? And I think that every outfit has like a purpose in the game. Specifically, I can speak more as to like the large outfits. Uh, and this is like an argument that I bring up on the regular. When people are playing the game, like the casuals, right? The people that log in and they want to go have an experience, not a lot of those people are going to be good at FPS. Like this game, I think, has like such a wide variety of playstyles that a lot of people come to the game and they're not even worried about shooting heads. You know, they want to have the large experience without, all of that focus in the infantry side of things, like just the FPS shooting people and that sort of stuff. And that's kind of where we stand, I think, is where I see the sort of team play, the platoon play, where people are being part of something bigger. They are focusing their win condition into something that's beyond themselves as a way that people engage, and just play the game same as someone that's just focusing on getting kills. It's the sort of different play styles in there that are offered by different groups. Someone playing in SKL, for example, and I'll just throw out a quick example, right? A new player like Cronk, someone joins in, they have like their first bit of experience there, they just get shot completely and they're lost because the game for them just feels like an FPS game and they're getting crushed because there's no matchmaking, there's no ranking. You may have just downloaded the game and you're going to be put against a flick. Like you may run across a flick on the ground.
Number one in anchor kills across the whole game. Yeah,
exactly. And you just downloaded the game and you're getting killed by this guy repeatedly. So I think what the large outfits do, and this is more like what the platoons do, the public platoons, is that they take this guy that is getting killed repeatedly, and their metric for success was the kills, right? Were the kills. Their gameplay loop was getting kills. And whenever you get inserted into the platoon, all of a sudden the platoon is like a larger entity, right?
Yeah.
You're playing for captures. Now my win condition is not getting kills anymore. Now I'm playing for... Now I want to capture this facility. This is my gameplay loop objective now. And in larger scale, my objective play loop now is winning the alert. I am a part of, this large group that is trying to win the alert. And then if you're a medic that's just using your res tool, you're not even using your gun, you are still contributing to that objective. You don't need to get out there and kill these players that have tens of thousands of hours in the game. If you just downloaded it, you switch your sort of mentality when you run across these groups that are objective oriented, right? And I think that's where large outfits, the Zerg fits per se, have their role, because they offer that sort of experience. They are out there doing public platoons with a consistency that small groups can't maintain, right? SKL, for example, has platoons every single day, multiple hours a day. And whenever these people get in, they get introduced into that experience. And I think that's the first hook, right? If they enjoy that, they're going to stick around and they can eventually evolve into, okay, now I'm enjoying playing infantry a bit more. Maybe I'll go look for another group that does that, a little bit better. Or maybe I really enjoy doing armor and I'm going to go and try to do that a bit more. And then they just move into those communities and you have sort of, a feeding system in there. But you need that first experience. That's what I think, we have a strong opinion about all this, because Zerg fits in general do tend to get a lot of hate from the community, right? They absorb all the new players, everybody's playing with them, and they're viewed with a pretty bad light. There's talks about limiting the number of members in an outfit and that sort of stuff. Has been there since the beginning.
No.
But I think if you get rid of these groups, you are just, getting rid of this sort of public service that the other groups are just not going to offer. You know, an outfit that focuses on infantry, he's not going to run a platoon that is running at a slower pace. They're going to be Valk dropping every base, like redeploy side, using like terms that the new players may not even know. Like, buy a Valk from the biolab, we're dropping series hydroponics 30 seconds for the cap. Like, this phrase to us that have been playing the game for a while just sounds logical, right? We know every single word in that phrase. But for someone that just joined, they don't know what is a Valk, they don't know what is a biolab, they don't know what is a drop, they don't know what is series hydroponics. None of that makes any sense to them.
They know they have to do something in 30 seconds, but they have no idea where to do it.
They have no idea what we're talking about. So sometimes even when they're running groups like that, like public platoons, they are still not getting through to the people that are coming in. You know, maybe the new players or maybe people that haven't played the game in how many years. So offering that sort of more new player friendly experience where you can get people engaged in something that they can succeed in is where, you know, the spot of the large outfits is where the Zerg fits really shine, you know.
We are the new player experience.
Exactly. That's what we talk about.
We are the tutorial.
Exactly. Yeah. And I truly believe that, you know.
Yeah.
Because
so
that's what I went through, you know. That's what I've been through. And it's the playstyle that I enjoy, is just getting out there and helping out these people. To me, the best experience that I can have in PlanetSide is when I'm running a platoon. Usually, like, our platoons can get up to 50-50. You know, we have 50% SKL, and then the other 50% are like people with no outfits or people in solo outfits. And so you have this just melting pot of just random people playing with you, right? And you can get those 48 people and turn them into an effective tool in the map.
Right.
Like, you get the 48
add a little
people.
Organization, add a little discipline.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they become this effective force that's going around the map and doing caps and just, you know, being successful in a larger scale. And I think that's kind of what the game needs more of. It lacks this deeply. And I think we wouldn't bleed as many players if we had more people doing this sort of stuff out there.
Cronk, when you're scripting and putting together all of your guides for the academy, is this what you have in mind, this sort of end goal, or is this battle going on? How do you see it?
I mean, throughout kind of the whole process of, like, you know, just building the academies, our whole priority was just making it as, you know, new player friendly as possible, putting our guides in like as simple terminology as we could without, like, you know, avoiding confusing people, even coming down to like how we would develop our trainings, you know, when we would like introduce certain concepts after others, like, you know, for your average training for construction to be like, what are nanites, what's a vehicle terminal, you know, you start at like the super basic and you work your way up to like, this is your silo, this powers your base, you need this to power your, you know, base, you can build this with this, stuff like that. Just making it as simple as possible and then just kind of slowly amping it up from there with everything that we did in the academy, from like writing guides to just making trainings and just stuff like that. So that was largely our biggest priority, was just making it as approachable as possible to just the most people as possible. Because, you know, you want it to be accessible. You want anyone to be able to pick that up, even if they don't play the game, and be like, okay, I understand this, you know, I kind of get the gist of what they're going for here. So
gotcha.
That was by far our biggest priority.
And Horace, so you have Orbi and Cronk here, two of your people, talking about this. This is how they see the elite fits, the Zerg fits. It's not even just a us versus them. It seems like there's very much an awareness going on of, here's how we all play together in this ecosystem. And where Cronk was just saying, I'm Cronk. Cronk is just saying how when he's putting these guides together, you know, he's trying to get it to the lowest level so you can quickly on-ramp. Orbi is aware of how these things are the service that an outfit like SKL brings to the table. What sort of optics do you have looking at this?
Yeah, so definitely, you know, wholeheartedly agree with what they've been saying. It's I've been there, writing guides as well, and kind of having that priority. Been there leading the platoons, trying to give the new players a really great experience. I think that all of that really comes together into something. Always keeping for myself, at least in mind, these things we write, these platoons we run, all the events we do. These really come together into making this more than the game is on its own, right? Someone can jump in, they can, even sometimes jumping into a platoon, but what we do in our communities, what we do in our outfits, we're able to really make the game so much more than it is by itself. And that's really, if I look at my list of my total games in my Steam library, say PlanetSide far and away has the most hours, and it's just that, right? I can play this game, but I don't think of it as just a game, with all the experiences I've gained in this community. And so I think about that, right? When we're writing guides, when we do our trainings, our events, we're talking with real people. An example that was made to me at one point, for just context of what we're doing here, of what we can be doing here, is we're leading a full platoon, say, as an example. That's yourself and up to 47 other people who are, at home, at their desk, behind the computer screen, all talking to their mic. But if you could take all those people and fit them in one room, like, that's a big experience there. Something that would take a really well-organized just event to get all these people together. And so the fact that we can do all of that here in PlanetSide, the effort we put in, it blows my mind every time I think about it.
It sounds like you're doing it successfully,
for a lot of us,
too.
it's a social experience above all else, right? Sometimes you're just sitting in a platoon and you're just talking to people. You're not even playing the game anymore. You're just there, have a conversation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. I really like the perspective that you all have about that. It seems that's the sort of thing that a lot of Devil Dogs have tried to approach it as well. I think very similarly. I hear a lot of the same things that we would say. Something I've always wanted to know, and I think you three of you are probably in a great position. I was just looking at PS2 alerts and the alert history. So I see a handful. It looks pretty
Alert history.
Pretty
VS
mixed.
Dominant there.
Pretty
VS,
purple,
TR, like each you getting a crack at winning the alerts.
I'm loving that PS2 alerts page. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Maelstrom does work, man. It really love it. So
yeah, absolutely. Maelstrom is a legend.
Yeah, he is. Also used to be a PSP admin, plug for PSP. But
hell yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
So I've always heard the rule of thumb is that VS is always underpopped. What about that? Why is that true? And is that still the same in Emerald?
I don't know. I think I've been playing here for the longest out of all of these guys here. And I think there's I think there's some truth to it. Honestly, I just think a lot of it is down to the aesthetics, right? NC has always been the most popular one, right? Because Space America and that sort of stuff. Even back then, Lanzer, even when I joined the game, I always played Vano. I've never played any other faction. And back when the game was launching, I remember watching the Devil Dogs trailer and going God damn, why is theirs so much better than the Azure Twilight trailer? This is 10 times better. The music is great. The tanks look better. The armor looks better. And I think a little bit of it goes to TR as well. And VS is just weird, right? We just look like a weird fashion show in Paris or something like this. So I think a lot of it with the new player stuff just boils down to aesthetics. I think the VS has the most exotic aesthetics, and I don't think the same amount of people get attracted to it. It's why if you go to like if you click on outfits on the PS2 page, you can see the amount of kills by new players on the NC are a lot higher than VS and TR. It's because there's that disparity there when people join in the game. But yeah, it has always been there, and because of that, it has attracted better players. That's just undeniable, right? People want to avoid the queue, so if you are a good player and you play all factions, you may end up playing VS a lot more because they have less people, right? It does tends to happen.
Does that how does it integrate with what you were saying about wanting to soak up the new players? And does that calculation or not calculation? Does that process happen different on Vanu?
I don't think it happens all that different. I just think that like if the impact we have on VS is this big, I think it would be even bigger if we were on NC. I think NC gets a lot more new players than we do. Not by like a large margin, like 50%. There's definitely more new players on NC, and yeah, there would be some difference there. Maybe it would be bigger. I don't know.
Okay. I have to think about that. I don't think I've ever thought of it that way, Orbi. I know we had a lot of new players, a lot of new players, and so many of them were brand spanking new to the game of some sort. And World of Tanks, Call of Duty, some Battlefield players, some Counter-Strike. Yeah, I don't even know. I have to process that.
I always felt, and I don't know, this may be just like my perspective, but I've always felt like the NC have a much bigger like main faction tone to them. You know, they were the main faction on the trailer. They are blue. They are like the space, America, rebels sort of stuff. It's a lot more attractive to a lot more people, I feel like. The TR are like the authoritarian sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It does draw in a lot of people, especially, 40K people, that sort of stuff, people that enjoy that sort of vibe. And the VS are just weird. We used to say like VS are weebs that like anime or something like that because, the aesthetics is just
nerds.
weird. There's no other way to put it, right? It's lasers, it's like exotic. And I feel like there's less people interested in that than on the other two aesthetics.
Yeah, no,
I don't think
you're
it's by
sitting
a
here,
large
you're on
margin,
NC and TR, and they're like, hey, I need more ammo. And you go to VS and you're like, yo, give me some batteries. I'm like, what do you want, double A's? What are you asking me for here?
Yeah.
Dude, the VS Max just straight up looks like something out of a catwalk or something like that.
It does look
so weird. The VS Max is one of the weirdest things we have. Like, just looking at it just makes me feel weird in some way. Because, like, the NC and TR Maxes look great. Like, they're just this hulking max suit and that sort of stuff. And then the VS is, like, high heels, like, all pointy, like, insect-like some sort of stuff. It's just weird, bro.
Hold on, I got you. So, I'm going to pull up my old friend Fandom. Here we go. Looks like
there you go.
Got a big old NC Max there on the far right. Big old honking sucker. In the middle, you've got a TR, he's got little orb eyes. You can tell what he is. I don't know, that dude on the left looks like a butterfly of some sort. I don't know what he's got going on.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I absolutely adore like the crab maxes. I love VS. I would never play like any other factions if I could. But it just looks much better. The NC Max just looks like a chunkers.
But when you get on that ogre armor, man, dude, he looks ripped. Like he's got traps for days. It's awesome. Sick. Love my guy.
You hear an NC Max coming, like you're scared because you can hear like the clomp, clomp, clomp. Like
exactly,
it's crazy. It's just nightmare feel.
And shout out to my boys, Bloodshot and Isom. they're the current managers of PS2 Wiki. This thing is, I use it all the time. Absolutely love this site.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are doing awesome work. Sweet. So I got a surprise hot take that wasn't on the list, but it popped up in my brain as you were talking about how the Emerald VS faction is so awesome and how you haven't really experienced much negativity. As you may or may not know, I interviewed Pale Tiger last week.
Oh yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
And that did not go the way I expected. He came across as very calm, very reasonable, and when he told me his viewpoint about creating a villain so that he could create fight and passion and momentum, and now he's Emerald VS, and he's had nothing but praise for it. I've seen a couple of his videos about it. He said he loves working on Emerald VS. He thinks that you all work really well together and hasn't really had to do much like he would on TR, and spoke highly of SKL when I asked about it, and said he'd like to have a better relationship.
Absolutely surprising.
Yeah, well, you know, because
right
I'm interested. It's interesting to hear what I thought was going to happen, and then what did happen, and now trying to reconcile that and process it. So now my hot take for you all: what has been your impression of? Have you noticed a shift in things since the arrival of Pale Riders?
Okay, so Horace, do you want to pitch in on this? Because I do have.
And I leave it vague intentionally to let you handle that however you'd like.
Sure. I guess the way I'm kind of experiencing it is, it's part of it is just, it is another outfit with, some active leads, and so there's more often activity in command chat, which, can be nice. So there's that. Kind of like what Orbi was saying before, just having some nice new, I don't know if I would say Pale Riders is a new outfit, but, recent entry to VS at the very least. So having, seeing some more squads in the squad finder just kind of more often, just with these extra players. So, it's just been interesting to see another outfit with a different play style compared to, the other outfits. They're their own thing. They come in. So it's been an interesting experience just to kind of see how we all play it together. I talk in command chat as well, and we all kind of discuss things, and it's been interesting to see another outfit come in and kind of contribute to what we've got going on here.
Okay. And I'll pull it just a little bit more. Would you say it's been an overall positive experience?
I would say it's been overall positive. Yeah, for sure. There's, like I said, there's extra chatter in command chat sometimes, which
gotcha.
Sometimes, and not even, I don't even want to point to, Pale Riders and say like, oh yeah, now it's messy or whatever. It's, like I said, it's another voice in there. And so I think, all of the VS community, will kind of rebalance, how often we talk when they're, how, we get in, we say what we need to say, we get out, we've got platoon voice comms at all as well. So it's there's more talking there.
I gotcha.
But,
I gotcha.
We'll balance it for sure.
Yeah, something I did notice when I used to watch Chuck Baller stream, I still do, is that Pale was very often always communicating with his community. They were talking about random stuff, just random stuff.
Talks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, something that you said, Orbi, that really struck me. That's one of the reasons why I thought about this is you said your number one rule was that you wanted to create a safe space that was not a hostile environment to anyone. And I think it was Prozan who said that he chimed in and said, yep, that's really important. Pale told me that he has a rule of zero tolerance for harassment, zero tolerance. He gives all of his female players rights to ban anyone from the outfit. So if anything happens, he doesn't question them. His players ban them, and that's it. They're done. And I thought that was very extreme, but sounds like bold, effective way.
I saw that too. Yeah, it's a good idea. It can go wrong, but I mean, it's a simple way to solve it, right?
Yeah.
And I can't speak to how well like they enforce all of this. I'm not aware like of how they run stuff in there. I've never run with them like in any capacity, so I don't know like how well they manage all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear just positive things about them.
Sure.
Just put it
Sure.
like that. But I
Sure.
don't think that was their biggest issue when they came around. Like Pale, like you said, he's a guy that talks a lot, right? And he has like this whole community around them. PlanetSide and just gaming communities in general just tend to be like maintained around some people or one person, right? It's a code of personality in many ways. And whenever you have this interesting guy, people just, will be around him. And I think the thing Pale did a lot with pigs whenever they came around, which is what generated some negative effects that we are still having to deal with to this day, was that they just wanted to start up some drama unnecessarily. The stuff that he talks about when targeting VS, for example, just came out of the blue. Like whenever that started happening, everyone in SKL was just like, what is going on? Like we don't even know who these people are, you know. We've never heard of them, like we've never seen them before, we've never talked to them. And now there's this guy posting videos on his YouTube channel saying that SKL sucks and that,
Did he?
VS are
Okay.
all evil. Yeah, like when he first came around, he like painted SKL and VS as the enemies. And he sort of mobilized the TR by running public platoons, right? That you have a lot of power in there because a lot of people have contact with you. And he just drove the TR into the VS. And that's something that yeah, like, and that's something that we didn't had before, right? The server had like some preferences when fighting each other,
Uh-huh.
but it was in general just very balanced, right? And then all of a sudden pigs came around, and then like for the past, when he was still doing this over there, VS and TR just had this rage boner with each other, and they would just get on it, and NC could just capture the entire map. VS and TR would not stop fighting.
Yeah.
And it started in there. So I see what he was doing. I see what he was trying to do. It's interesting, it drives engagement in many ways, but I just think it was a terrible thing for the server culture in general.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
It created an attrition that wasn't there before, and we are still kind of dealing with it.
Interesting.
It's not all good that came from that, but
yeah. And now he's one of you.
Yeah, you see, and then like one day, and this was the funniest thing, because one day I was just sitting in a platoon chat, and somebody said that they were gonna send me a link on Discord, and I opened the link, and it was a video of Pale just saying nice things about SKL.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened here? Like two days ago, we were like the dragon that they were trying to slay, and now like there's respect here. So it was a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I have really enjoyed recently, and talking to other members in there, the fact that it just looks like they decided to chill. They came to VS, and now they're just looking at playing the game, and just enjoying themselves in their times, and not being as, I don't know how to put this, but not creating as much attrition as they were doing before.
Sure.
And I just think that's great, just having more people enjoying and playing the game, in a friendly environment is great. And it's definitely a net positive for the server in general. Even if like there are side effects to it, it's definitely a good thing.
Okay.
They are just gonna be more chill about it from now on.
Sure, yeah. But that's interesting to hear that perspective. Attrition from where there was none before. All right.
Yeah, there was like, we still fought each other, right? But it kind of generated this server culture of focus VS, right? Because that's what he was going around telling everybody to do, and now everybody does that. And
it did sound like.
it.
Go ahead.
it has many levels, right? Some people
Sure.
can just stay at the surface level and just see that as what it is, like sort of an interesting take. You're trying to rise engagement and that sort of stuff. But some people just completely hate VS now.
Yeah, some
And then
people
you
took it literal, where it might not
absolutely
have
and
intended to be that way.
yeah, and then like because you had that coming from them, you had the same stuff happening on VS, right?
Mm.
We started seeing a lot of people, even in our own platoons, telling us, "Let's go screw over TR because
Oh,
f them." And that's the sort of stuff that we don't want to see in game, And you start getting more king making and double teaming gets worse. It happens, obviously, but whenever a faction stops playing like the win condition, just to make sure the other one is not going to win, that's just negative for everybody involved,
that's so
And
interesting. I
yeah,
think
and
if
you
that
started
merger
getting some of that,
happens, I think our cultures are going to have a brief but intense war.
Yeah,
There's going to be a fourth war that's going to be fought, and it's going to be the Emerald Connery War, because I don't know what it is about Connery, but there's king making all the time. Like that, what Pale didn't start with the VS. It started long before that. It's just 2v1s
on
happen a
corner.
lot on
That's
Connery.
what I heard. That's what I heard. Like before here on Emerald, TR has always had like the lowest win rate, and people argued that TR was always targeted more, but I never saw that actually. I saw like lowest level of cohesion, maybe something like that, but there wasn't ever like this general idea of let's go make sure that faction loses. It only really started happening after he came around and start doing all his propaganda. So that's kind of where
Yeah.
I see the negative side of stuff there. It's where the power of the outfits and that sort of stuff just can be a negative impact. But
No,
I
that
don't know,
makes sense.
maybe he had something else in mind there, and I'm just glad that now they're playing. I've played with him the other day, like in his platoon, and they're just chill now. They're just enjoying the game, playing VS, playing to win, helping out. And it's just great. I love that they're doing that now, and it's much, much better. I just love the lack of drama.
I'm looking forward to that merger. I think that's going to be an interesting shift of meta, or combining of the metas. I think we definitely took the server smash culture to I don't know what I'm trying to say. That sort of thing has been in existence for a long time on our server.
Yeah, I've always felt like Connery is a bit more competitive. It's kind of palpable, that there's more going around in just general willingness there, I'd say. Like Emerald is chill, I've always felt like Emerald is very chill. There are groups that go hard, but in general it's just a chill experience.
Yeah. There's an old tale on Connery where Pale Tiger tried to convince, I don't remember if it was NC. No, I think it was VS. Tried to convince VS to double team NC for a month, or double team it for a time. But then that person went to Recursion Therum, who was NC, and said, "Hey man, how about we double team TR?"
Do the opposite.
Did the opposite. And I think it was called the Kestrel Accords. It's in our lore.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
And they double teamed the TR for a month straight. And for whatever reason, that's just what it is.
So you see, now this is where the responsibility that we talk about in SKL comes into play here. Because when you have stuff like that going on, it's 33% of the server.
Yep.
And like, it's just one guy that made all that happen, And then for 1 month, 33% of the server just had a shit experience because one dude said something. That's the thing that bothers me. The casual players, the new players that came in, they probably got wrecked a month straight because of the decisions of a few individuals that are running the show. And I think that's why the responsibility, in outfits like this is important. It's what we try to maintain here. Like this sort of stuff just ruins the experience for a lot of people. And, you just can't have that sort of stuff happening. That's just sad to hear about, honestly. It's funny.
I mean,
Don't
for
get me
me,
wrong.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's funny as hell. It's funny as hell. But I think in a wider perspective, it's just bad in general.
I'm interested to see what sort of conversations we'll be having if the merger ever happens. But I think that's a good place.
Yeah,
to,
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to seek out some last thoughts from the three of you before we move to that next slide about ExtraLife and tie it all back together. So, Cronk, let's start with you. What's on your mind?
So I'm gonna be honest. Looking at the slides, I saw a hot take, and I was like, surely he's gonna ask each of us for a hot take. So I just figured, I'll say that because why not? I'll give a hot take about the game. Why not go crazy? My hot take is shotguns didn't need a buff. And there you go. That's mine. Just sharing with the class here. But yeah.
Shotguns didn't need a buff. I think as a fellow shotgun user, I could agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
same.
All right. Well, I'm
NC
actually a
shotgun?
shotgun hater, so I mean, I'm on the other side of the spectrum here, but
Yeah, I'm the bad player here. I've Horaximed all of the VS shotguns.
Nice. Shotguns didn't need a buff. Yep. Well, the good news is I'm most of the time I'm in a main battle tank, a Vanguard, so you don't even have to worry about my shotgun most of the time.
Okay.
Just my AP round or my JGX round now.
Yeah, just don't kill the tank, and
Yeah.
we're good. There you go.
Orbi, how about you? Vanguard has the canister.
Conversation, just love that. We don't usually get to talk about these stuff, Lanzer. It's we don't usually have the opportunity to go over these things.
You cut out there for a second after you said we don't have the opportunity to go over these things.
Yeah, like it's just good, it's just nice to talk over these stuff and just put our perspectives out there. I think that to this day, a lot of people look at SKL with, sort of different eyes. We've changed a lot through the years, and we really try our best to, be good and be positive and be responsive. And I just think for us, it's a nice opportunity, just put our opinions out there, put our views out there. And from the unique perspective that we have as well, like being Zergmancers, as Prozan likes to say. Like we are the ones that, deal with new players. We deal with casual players more than most people. And I think there are very few of us, not a lot of platoon leaders left, not a lot of people dealing with cat herding anymore. And so, yeah, it's just nice to have the opportunity to go over all of this.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm happy to have you all here. This is wonderful. What about you, Horace?
I think for me, it's really nice coming here, kind of experiencing the discussions that are here. I'm really glad we've got a very maybe it's not the biggest community out there, but it's a healthy community. We're big enough, we're strong enough that we can do things like ExtraLife as a community-wide event, and it's nice to see. Honestly, I guess I'll say you doing stuff like this, spreading awareness for this stuff, other streamers, other podcasters out there as well, just doing stuff, so I'm happy, honestly. I think that's kind of last thoughts, seeing all this come together. It's really, really nice.
Good. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. Something I wanted to highlight before we jump to tie this off is, I think the MVP comment for today, Prozan, you said when we were talking about the meetings that we've all Iraqed our meetings.
It's true.
Bro, absolutely. I would not be surprised if I had over 1,000 hours in meetings.
That I completely agree with you, Prozan. I completely agree.
Hell
all right,
yeah,
so let's
bro.
ExtraLife. Bring it all back to the charity that you all are doing. You're currently at $6,000 for the third year. And if you are If you are willing, the participant ID right here, dead center, 500-222, and you can go to this link here, extra-life.org/participation/ then their invite code, or just search Extra Life Sokaar's Legion, and it should pop up, and it looks a little bit like this right here that I'm showing on screen. So please, if you're willing, donate. It's for a good cause. I loved having the three of you here talking about everything from the charity, from Sokaar's Legion itself, then down to the nitty-gritty of server culture and new player experiences. Cronk, Horace, Orbi, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming to talk with me.
Thank you very much. This is awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Lanzer. It's been a privilege.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and tie it off here. Upcoming, previous, lots of stuff in the shoot, and I guess it'll happen when it happens. But as of right now, Extra Life, Sokaar's Legion, check them out. They are VS Emerald, very highly organized, and as you can see, very successful outfit in and outside of PlanetSide. Thank you all very much. And before I forget, I need to rate somebody. Let's go. Who we got? Evil from Above, Sinister Smith, Apollo, Royal Green Beret, Howlness Me. Anybody you all recognize? Lepolos?
Here in
Yeah,
Apollo.
I know. Yeah, I know Apollo. Lepolos is great as well.
Okay, let's do. Apollo says be right back. Let's check him real fast and see if he's back yet. If so, then we'll raid him.
Yeah, Apollo is
he's
our
VCats.
fellow VS, right?
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do Apollo, your fellow Emerald VCats.
Yeah, go get him.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
Apollo PS2.
Slant well, goddammit.
Raid's coming. We got about 10 seconds, and then after the raid, I'll go ahead and hit the in-stream button, and we will we'll be donezo.
The other two
Raid
squads are put
now.
Charlie on power reg, and Delta can join on water purification. Use the Western Sunday at water. Lanzer, thanks for the follow. Thank you for the raid.
What's up, Apollo?
Hey, buddy. Glad you could join us. Push this. This guy not die?
Headshot.
Yeesh. Yeesh. Meg's like, I don't have anything to do with you. We can push through doves. Or short.
Rage quit.
We're breaching it short. We just need some help.
Second rage quit.
Get on the long. Make sure that's up.
Alert. Enemy medic located.
Or two. Fuck! Little robot head peeking out. Don't worry about point. Do we have everything we need crafting? Okay, good. Good.
Rise to the moment you can prevail.
Maintain that forward position.
I'm getting wrecked here in the park. Yeah.
You are or they are?
We are. Do not hold hallway. They hold hallway. We're fucked.
Bravo Sun, the West Sundays at kill zone.
Some Bravo have a beacon close to point.
Beacon's up.
A lot of people on the roof. Maybe not anymore.
Can you show me your weapon for me to copy?
Oh my gosh. It's and it's 11A reskin Diamondback. It's part of one of the bundles. Fuck. Barney, I've got you. Oh, that Banshee.
Force.